30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients for immune health.
I can't take my eyes off my eyes.
My go-to is Lumify eye drops.
Lumify dramatically reduces redness.
In 1 minute.
And look at the difference.
My eyes look brighter and whiter
For up to 8 hours.
It was love at first sight.
With Lumify. See for yourself.
I have the theme song on my cell phone.
I have her singing that on my cell phone.
We love it, ladies. Tomorrow on ET, only we're in Vancouver with Reba McEntire and Melissa Peterman for their mini Reba reunion and soon-to-be reboot.
Yes, yes, and yes.
We love the yeses. Yes, yes, and yes. This show we know for sure is happening. Season 16 of Married at First Sight.
Let me just...
Happening now.
Outburst in the courtroom as family members of Michelle Barrientos Vela lash out at the DA as sentencing is finally handed down to the convicted ex-constable. What she's now facing, coming up.
A man is in the hospital after firefighters pulled him out of a burning house on San Antonio's north side. We'll have more details coming up next.
Sunny, comfortable, beautiful. However, we need rainfall, and there is one opportunity in the forecast. I'll jump into more detail and time that out for you in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
At First and 5, we're going to take you to the scene of some breaking news right now. Sky 12 flying above the scene of a fire. This is in the 1200 block of Denver Boulevard. It's on the near east side. You can see that firefighters appear to have it under control. I do not see any flames right now, but certainly a lot of smoke.
Yeah, a lot of smoke in this area. We do have a crew on the way to get information on this fire. Of course, a lot of homes in that area, too. We'll check in on how neighbors are doing as well. We'll provide more information as soon as we get it.
The scandal plagued her entire tenure as Bexar County Constable, and today Michelle Barrientos Vela learned the punishment for her crimes.
The former elected official will serve 5 years probation, 90 days in jail. Our Dylan Collier joins us live with the fireworks that accompanied that sentence. This did not end quietly, Dylan.
It certainly did not, Myra and Steve. Extra court security was brought in before Judge Velia Mesa issued her sentence this afternoon about 1:30, and it turned out to be the right call in this case. Barrientos Vela, whose public corruption indictment came 3 years ago this month, was facing the possibility of a decade in prison after a jury of her peers in September convicted her on 2 felony counts of tampering with records. Instead, she'll serve 5 years probation, complete 600 hours of community service, and serve 90 days in jail. That jail sentence suspended while Barrientos Vela appeals her convictions. Judge Mesa told the ex-constable she had no respect for the law while in uniform, but pointed out that she is loved and respected by her family. It was that same family, specifically 2 of Barrientos Vela's sons, who exploded in anger as the sentence was read.
There's a 25
This is a day that is long in coming. It has been over 3 years. I know a lot of you have been following this case from the very beginning. And we saw today that justice was served.
I would not call this a victory. I'd call it a pretty bad loss for us in the sense that we believe in Michelle and we believe that she's not guilty.
The appeal will take several months at least. That 5-year probation term, however, begins immediately. Barrientos Vela can no longer serve as a peace officer in the state of Texas. Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Dylan. A dangerous firefight on the north side today, and firefighters found a man inside that burning home.
That fire happened at a home off of Encino Rio and Evans Road, north of Loop 1604. Our Alyssa Cole takes us to that house where the San Antonio fire chief says his crews faced a real challenge.
Firefighters spent more than an hour putting out a fire that destroyed this home on the 2100 block of Oak Bend Street. When firefighters made it inside, they found a man unconscious.
We found the victim at the bottom of these stairs on the first floor.
Investigators are still unsure where the fire started, but the chief tells us the fire was likely burning for some time.
Our units were reporting high heat and zero visibility. That's the most dangerous conditions that we can operate in.
The staircase inside burned down completely, forcing firefighters to use ladders at every window. This fire had neighbors in disbelief.
As I drove by, seeing the smoke, I was like really shocked, first of all, but at the same time curious and concerned.
Gonzalez Jerish has lived in this area for a decade. While she doesn't know the victim personally, she does know he's a veteran and his children recently moved out.
There's a few veterans in this neighborhood, and as veterans, we want to just help each other, always lend a hand where we can.
And that's exactly what Gonzalez and neighbors plan to do once they get an update on the victim. Now, he was taken to BAMC, and at last check, he was in critical condition. No word yet from fire investigators on what started this fire. Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. She won thousands of dollars from lotto tickets, but now she's paying the price.
Yeah, 37-year-old Mela Rios is accused of collecting more than just a paycheck from her former employee. According to SAPD, Rios, who previously worked at an Eastside convenience store, stole 30 bundles of lottery tickets worth more than $50,000. Investigators believe it happened over a 3-month period.
SAPD says the store owner noticed the bundles of tickets were missing. When he looked at surveillance, the owner said that Rios was seen taking them. According to police, the owner confronted Rios, who admitted to the theft, saying she'd been keeping some of the tickets for herself and then selling the others.
There was surveillance video that was uncovered by investigators and is still coming in of the suspect going to different locations here in San Antonio, different grocery stores, and also in the Laredo area, and cashing out these winnings.
It's become a bit of a trend. Rios is charged with lottery fraud and theft. SAPD has a warning saying all lottery tickets can be tracked, and if they're stolen, you will be caught.
A man is in the hospital after he was shot outside of a bar last night. This happened outside the Mustang Sally's on Roosevelt around 2 a.m. An employee told our crew the shooting was caught on security video, which has now been turned over to San Antonio police. He claims the victim was walking to his car when the suspect took his watch and fired shots while running away. At last check, that victim was in critical condition.
The police department also looking for a driver who hit a man and didn't stay to help. This happened around 9 last night near Thousand Oaks and Perrin Bidle. Investigators say the victim was walking in a crosswalk when he was hit. He's expected to make a full recovery, but because that driver didn't stay to help, that person may face a charge of failure to stop and render aid.
Let's take a look now at traffic at this hour. This is I-37 at Jones. You can see really traffic mostly smoothly going in both directions. However, that lane there in the northbound lanes as it gets on to 35 stopped at this hour as traffic merges. 6 votes now and still no House Speaker in Washington, D.C., leaving Congress in limbo for a second day. Republican Representative Kevin McCarthy has not been able to secure the spot after 6 rounds of voting. This is the first time in a century a speaker has not been elected past the first day of discussion. Part of the reason, a Republican Party divide. Members of his own party claiming McCarthy is untrustworthy.
Maybe the right person for the job of Speaker of the House isn't someone who has sold shares of themselves for more than a decade to get it.
Former President Donald Trump took to social media pleading for the anti-McCarthy members to back the California lawmaker. Meanwhile, Democrats show a united front in supporting Hakeem Jeffries, the first Black House Democratic leader who, per round, has more votes than McCarthy.
From Congress to the state capitol now, there's a new push to legalize sports betting and bring more casinos to Texas. A Houston lawmaker wants casinos to go up in 4 Texas cities. And yes, San Antonio is on that list. RJ Marquez explains why she thinks this bill has life despite what are long odds.
State Senator Carol Alvarado is ready to roll the dice on legalized gambling in Texas.
I believe it diversifies our economy. It makes Texas a destination place with resorts and all sorts of amenities.
The Houston lawmaker recently filed Bill SJR 17. If it were to pass, it would authorize and regulate casino gaming at a limited number of locations in Texas, with San Antonio being one of them.
A casino that has a 4 or 5-star hotel, shops, restaurants, regulations, and everything for a licensee to even bid will be pretty strict.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has opposed any form of legalized gambling in Texas, saying the Senate would not have enough votes to send the amendment to the voters. But Alvarado is optimistic this session because she's started to get bipartisan support.
Gives others that maybe were hesitant a second look and say, well, we're not exactly approving gaming. We're just going to allow Texans to vote on it.
She adds a casino resort could bring thousands of jobs to these areas, including San Antonio, and keep millions of dollars in the state. Texas is one of 14 states that has not approved legalized sports betting.
This is not somebody putting up a slot machine or a jackpot table in a restaurant or bar, convenience store. This is something that will spur some job growth, add value to our economy.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Today we had that cool, crisp air in the morning. Then by the afternoon, we warmed up nicely. Morning low temperature today, 48 degrees. Then we topped out at 77. It's that time of year. We have a big difference between the morning temperature and the afternoon high. And the next few days are going to be no exception. Right now, 73 in Lakey, 79 Eagle Pass, even 80 currently in Floresville, in Michael's backyard, then 76 Rick's backyard in Bernie. So pleasant outside, but get ready for temperatures to fall off very quickly this evening. Clear sky, 65 at 7 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, we're already down in the mid 50s. Next chance of rain just around the corner. We'll talk about that and time it out for you in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. Now from a sports story that's moved into a medical story, as Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin remains in critical condition after collapsing on the field Monday night. An SAPD airport officer reflecting on the time he survived his own sudden cardiac arrest.
He showed our Courtney Friedman the exact spot where that happened and explained why having defibrillators nearby is essential.
August 31st, 2014, I was standing right over there directing traffic with another officer, and my heart stopped.
SAPD airport officer Collis Boone's sudden cardiac arrest at the airport was captured on camera. You can see him collapse to the ground.
CPR was started right away. Luckily, there were passengers. The truck that was right in front of us had a respiratory therapist in it. Another officer ran inside to get one of the AEDs.
Boone's been a CPR and AED instructor since 2011, 3 years before an officer he trained saved his life.
I taught him how to do CPR, and he does it on me for the first time.
Boone says the scariest things that he'd never had one symptom suggesting he had a heart problem.
They did genetic testing to find out what was wrong, and they still couldn't find a reason for it. My cardiologist says it's one of those things. We don't know.
He's now on medication and has an internal cardiac defibrillator. Sudden cardiac arrest can happen unexpectedly, which is why it's crucial to have an automated external defibrillator or AED nearby.
All over the airport are these AED signs, which means right next door is a defibrillator. These defibrillators were just replaced recently. They're an upgraded model that coordinate better with EMS technology.
Training on a defibrillator can take 5-10 minutes. There's pictures on them. There's cartoons on the pads on where they go, how to turn it on, and the machine is going to tell you what to do.
It's what saved his life, and he's hoping the public will learn how to use AEDs and install more across the community. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Well, the holidays are over, and while you're getting back into a routine, cooking at home more might be a priority, but maybe it's been a while. Up next, the do's and don'ts of cooking in the kitchen to make sure your next meal doesn't come with a side of sickness.
We're going to be here to pray for him.
Tonight at 6, the former head of the Catholic Church, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, honored today with a memorial mass at San Fernando Cathedral ahead of tomorrow's funeral mass in Rome.
Also coming up at 6, more outdoor dining, drinking venues popping up just east of downtown. But what about people experiencing homelessness who are also in the same neighborhood? Jesse DeGriato talks to both sides about what it'll take for them to coexist.
And abortion and marijuana decriminalization look likely to end up in front of San Antonio voters this May. We take you to the final days of this petition push and talk with their likely opposition on the ballot at the ballot box at 6 o'clock. Well, if you have ever experienced food poisoning, you know you do not want to go through that again. But this year, 1 out of every 6 Americans will get sick from some sort of food-related contamination. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us how to be kitchen safe, and it all starts with simple hand washing.
We've heard the warnings before. Don't thaw meat on the counter and never mix cutting boards and utensils that have touched raw meat. And as tempting as it is, don't eat the raw cookie dough. But this may surprise you. A recent study showed that spice containers can be covered in bacteria and can easily cross-contaminate.
It's really important to wash your hands before you touch any of these items, or really anything in the kitchen, especially if you're handling raw meat.
Play it safe, she suggests taking an extra step. Pour seasonings into a separate dish beforehand and use that as you cook, and toss what you don't use. Wiping down containers can help too. And don't forget to wash your hands before you cook and scroll too. Research found that tablets and phones are contaminated with a lot of bacteria that can travel to your food.
It's equally important to wash your hands after you've handled raw meat, poultry, or seafood. And that's because salmonella and other bacteria can last on hard surfaces for up to several hours.
So wash any surface that had direct or indirect contact with raw meats, like counters, trash can lids, fridge handles, and cutting boards. And those sponges are bacteria magnets. Sanitize them in the dishwasher or microwave, and when they smell, it's time to throw them out. One thing not to wash before cooking, the raw meat. That just splashes bacteria in your sink and anything nearby. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
The sponges. You got to remember the sponges.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, if they stink, throw them out. That's a good rule of thumb right there. All right, 75 degrees outside. Very nice day. Put the windows down, cruise around town, one of those kind of days.
Yeah, old Blue and I were doing that earlier.
Yeah, I bet you were.
My old pickup truck, as we were driving to McAllister Park and went for a good mountain bike ride. Of course, feeling the mountain cedar slam into me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not the wisest decision, but it was fun to be out there. Anyway, of course, mountain cedar very high today. It's that time of year. We're reaching peak, which is usually late January. But otherwise, cool mornings and warm afternoons. It's that time of year with this dry air in place and full sunshine. Cool, crisp mornings with sweatshirts, but afternoon shorts and short sleeves. Damp on Saturday. I want to point that out. That's a big headline. We'll have the morning fog and drizzle and just overall dampness to start the weekend. Rain chances, though, are better as we get into Saturday night. Still looking at that 40% chance. Actually, take a look at our rain chances here, and nothing but sunshine the next couple of days. Saturday morning, the drizzle and fog, maybe a stray shower at 20%. But Saturday night, we've got that 40% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. And I think that's especially along and even east of I-35. Now, this is the January outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. You look across the nation where we're currently getting the precip. Parts of the eastern U.S. and western U.S. Unfortunately, here in Texas, we're in this brown zone, which favors below average precipitation for the month of January. But there is that shot Saturday night. So let's talk about it. Looking at the big picture now, action on the East Coast, parts of the Northland, upper Midwest as well. Of course, that's snow. And then this is the big story. Big old beautiful upper level low, big classic comma shape here. That low pressure system's coming onshore and just battering the West Coast with moisture and even some high winds. Part of that disturbance, that upper level swirl, will peel off and head our way, and we'll tap into a little bit of it as we get into the weekend, but not the full force of it. Between now and then, we've got this bump in the upper level flow. See how those lines go bump upward? That's the ridge. So not like the big blue H type of ridge, just a little ridge and keeping us sunny and fair. Then we get clipped by some of the energy as we get into the upcoming weekend. So here's a look at our future cast, and I really want to stress Saturday morning, damp, drizzly, foggy, reduced visibility. So if you get up for that early morning run on Saturday, get ready for the ground to be damp and everything around you. Then we could squeeze in a little bit of sunshine Saturday afternoon, but it's Saturday evening and Saturday night, some showers and thunderstorms should develop, especially east of I-35, but potentially even in and around San Antonio, our metro area, and up toward Austin. But the best rainfall totals will be east of San Antonio and closer to the Gulf coastline. That's the way it looks right now. 75 currently. This is interesting. Dew point at 25. So relative to how much moisture the air can hold at 75 degrees, our humidity, relative humidity, 16%. The air is holding 16% of the moisture that it can, so it's dry. 79 Castroville, 73 Devine right now. Tomorrow morning, Lower 40s, even some 30s in the hill country. Comfort, Kerrville 35, 43 though in San Antonio. But by noon, we're already sunny and 70, and then a high temperature at 76 degrees. So mid to even some upper 70s tomorrow afternoon. Unfortunately, there's just that one shot at rain over the next 7 days. Otherwise, sunny and very cool in the morning and warm in the afternoon.
All right, thanks, Adam.
All right, well, the Spurs just been hanging out in New York City.
Yep.
Hopefully angry over what happened against Brooklyn.
Yes, because they were embarrassed by Brooklyn. They need to bounce back against the Knicks, who, by the way, they've already beaten once and just a week ago. When we come back, more about the big game tonight in Madison Square Garden. We've got an update on DeMar Hamlin when we come back. After getting beat up by Brooklyn, our San Antonio Spurs stayed in New York so that they can face the Knicks tonight in Madison Square Garden. That's after they were able to beat New York and San Antonio 122-115 last Thursday in the AT&T Center. But they'll have to bring a better game than they played against the Nets in Brooklyn on Monday, where they gave up 74 points in the first half, leading to a 139-103 blowout loss. Even after that, the defeat, the Spurs spent time together with a team dinner in the Big Apple.
I feel like if we won by 30 or lost by 30, I feel like we can go to dinner and we probably never even bring up basketball. I feel like our group is, we talk about everything. And, I feel like once we leave the locker room, it's kind of like, once we get back into it, either tomorrow if we have a meeting or Wednesday if we have a meeting, I feel like that's when we bring it up and see what we can improve on. But I feel like we all know each other on a personal level. So once we get out here, we got so many other things, more things to talk about than, what happened tonight. I feel like even if we win or lost, so I feel like we're going to have a good team dinner. We sit back, relax, and joke around, have fun, and get some good food.
But like Steve said, be angry tonight. 6:30 tip time highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Buffalo Bills safety DeMar Hamlin remains in critical condition at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center with signs of improvement overnight. Now, that is according to the Bills team today. Last night, his uncle, Dorian Glenn, also revealed they had moved Hamlin onto his stomach in ICU in order to take the pressure off of his lungs due to a buildup of blood on his lungs. We'll have to wait and see how he responds to the treatment as his teammates return to workouts today to prepare for the final week of the regular season, with no news on if the game against the Bengals will be made up. With just one game left in the regular season, Dallas Cowboys have waived wide receiver James Washington, who was injured in training camp, did not get back on the active roster until the Cowboys game against the Texans. At the same time, the Washington Commanders are going to start rookie Sam Howell at quarterback instead of Taylor Heineke, with Carson Wentz on the inactive list now that the Commanders have been eliminated from the playoffs. Leighton Vander Esch will be inactive for the final game after missing the last two due to injury, but tells us he'll be ready for the postseason.
I'm excited to get back out there with the guys and help lead that defense and just communicate on the elite level that I know I can, and just get everybody lined up so we can play fast and give ourselves the best shot on game day.
Yeah, his postseason will have to be excellent because this is the final year of his contract with the team.
Yeah, So he's playing for more than just wins and losses.
Playing for a future in the league, yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back. We want to give you an update on that fire we first talked about at the top of the show. This is happening on Denver Boulevard, the Near East Side. San Antonio firefighters telling us now the home has collapsed and it's been ruled a total loss.
Yeah, we're told one person lives here. That person not home at the time, was not hurt. One firefighter somehow fractured his ankle while putting the flames out. The cause of the fire still being determined. But we're told that house totally collapsed after this fire.
Yeah, thankfully no one there at the time. That's all our time. Thanks for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. See you back here at 6.